Welcome back. Major League Baseball season is a week old. The Tigers coming off an 86-win campaign of a season ago. That was a season in which they did indeed get hot at the right time, advancing to the American League Division Series against Cleveland after beating the Houston Astros in the wild card. And now every Tigers fan wants to know, can they run it back? Ben Frakes is a student at Michigan State University, majoring in communications. He sat down with the longtime radio voice of the Tigers, that being Dan Dickerson. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here. And yeah, I'm excited for that MLB season to start as well.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Dan Dickerson's seen some baseball over the years. He's called some great baseball and some that, some of those years it was a little bit lean. Did you get a sense that Dan is as optimistic as some of the fans are about what this team might accomplish this year?
Yeah, he is optimistic about it. I think he does like this team. And I think one thing that he really thinks is that this is a unique team. I asked him if he could relate a team like this to one that he's called in the past, and you'll find out in the interview. But the moral of the story is that this is a unique team, and they've got a lot of pieces that can really take them to far places.
In your years of watching Tigers baseball, where would you rank what we witnessed over the final 6 weeks of the season last year?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, growing up, a lot of my Tigers fandom was, a lot of pain and misery, to be honest. But yeah, those last 6 weeks were magical, honestly. Yeah, that was probably the most fun I've ever had watching the Tigers baseball. And
Yep.
yeah, I actually got the opportunity to go to some of those games, especially the playoff clincher. And yeah, that was, the atmosphere at Comerica, you can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't beat it, man. I've been covering the team for 11 seasons, and I can say, last year was maybe the most fun, the most cohesive group that I've been around. But there again, it's like in baseball, as in other sports, trying to carry momentum from one season to the next is a difficult proposition. And you wipe the slate clean and you get into the new campaign and you hope for the best. Here is Ben Frakes' sit-down conversation with the voice of the Tigers, Dan Dickerson.
I'm wondering if you've seen enough from the players in Lakeland this season to say that last year's success wasn't just a fluke.
Oh, no, it was definitely not a fluke. And I think the biggest thing that came out of last year was, at the end, we talked about the belief that was instilled in this team. They just never stopped believing. But that's not just a 42-game stretch where they go 31-11. That's the way that AJ and this staff have prepared these guys for the last 3 years leading up to that stretch. And what does that get back to? That gets back to you've prepared to win one game on this day. And AJ makes fun of himself, saying that sounds like coach speak. But when you realize all that goes into preparing to win one game on one day and not think about, we need to get hot here, we need to win 10 out of 12 to get back in this thing, then you realize, okay, what does my routine look like that day? How does my game planning? What's my approach in every single at-bat? And you could just see this team, once that kind of clicked, they got a younger, more athletic lineup. Joey Cora challenged them to, hey, run first to third a few times, will you? I want you over here at third base. And seriously, the number of players who mentioned that, but that little thing, because that's a sign of a good base running team that goes first to third. All of a sudden, they're getting very aggressive. They were like at a 50% clip first to third in August after that challenge from Joey Cora. League average is about 1 in 3 opportunities, right? But that was the style of play. You were forcing mistakes on the other side. You're making that outfielder look up as he's fielding the ball. It led to this energy and a style of play down the stretch. It led to good defense. The pitching was ridiculous. That made it all fun. And those are the kinds of things you take into this year. There's never momentum from the end of one season to the next. But what it does is help your offseason workouts. Oh, I've got a taste of the postseason now. I want that again. That can lead to that little more energy in the offseason. As Scott Harris always says, you've got to get better in the offseason. But it also helps you going into the season. It's like, okay, we know now what it takes to win every day. They don't talk about hot starts or slow starts. It's more of the carryover is going to be, we experienced that. We experienced the pressure of the postseason. We actually went 4-3 in the postseason. And now that's what helps you coming into this year. As long as you've got talent, I think all of that adds up to, you can build on what you did last year.
That type of hunger, that type of hustle is a great characteristic. Yeah. Is there a team that you've covered in the past that reminds you of this team, this 2025 squad?
It was kind of different because some of the best teams were led by Miguel Cabrera, and they kind of mashed the ball even before he got here in 2006. Obviously, they had good pitching like 2012, 2013. It was amazing. But in terms of the base running, this team had to kind of live. They talk about it all the time, live at the margins, right? You find those incremental, every 90 feet that you gain and prevent. That's how this team is going to win, because they're not going to mash like the best teams that Jim Leland had. And what they can do is pitch, but pitching is also run prevention is pitching plus defense, right? And they had one of their better defensive teams last year. So it's really paying attention to the details that make you good in all areas. That kind of separates it from other teams. Obviously, there have been better teams that I've called, but the brand of baseball and how they went about it, I think was unique.
Interesting. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Ben, you are welcome. Looking forward to this season. It's going to be fun.
Pitching and defense will carry the day once again. If they can hit enough, could be a special season. Tigers are off tomorrow. They welcome in the Chicago White Sox for the home opener this Friday at 1:10.